I'm not here to be nice, fam. I'm just living my life, fam. Talk coming with a fight, fam. Don't give a fuck what you don't like, fam. I don't like to keep a pistol near me, cause I know the bitch just might blam. Stupid niggas out of sight, fam. Had to get him out my life, fam. Seeing red like a mic fan.
It's good, man. It's the iBall Network podcast. I'm your host, J-Meeks, man. We appreciate all the love we've been getting. It's episode 5, and I got my boys with me. What's good, CED?
What's up, baby? Welcome to the world, baby.
Yeah. And what up, P-Boat?
What's going on? What's up with it?
Yeah, man. So we got a dope show for y'all, man. This episode 5, we're going to get into the playoffs because, the playoffs start tomorrow or today. So we're going to get into the matchups one by one. And, yeah, man, we excited, man. So we're going to start off with Portland versus L.A. Said, who you got in that series, bro? I know who you got, but what we doing, bro?
Like I said, man, I'm going to go with the Lake Show. I mean, I don't think you lock up the number 1 seed, in the West to go out in the first round. I'd be, supremely shocked if they did. I mean, they're facing a hot team in Portland. Dame Lillard obviously being, looking like the best player in the NBA right now, going off in the bubble. But I think the Lake Show's depth and having 2 top 5 players on one team will get it done in 6.
What you think, Bo?
Man, it's going to be tough. I will say Portland is healthy. It looks scary on offense. Their defense is still shaky. They can switch it out with Whiteside and stuff like that and change the way they look on defense. But ultimately, I think the Lakers is going to pull it off in 6 games.
All right. I wanted to pick the Lakers. I do want to pick the Lakers, man. I'll be honest about that. But I also think that Portland is the best matchup for the Lakers besides the Clippers. I do feel like they built from top to bottom to beat the Lakers. But I agree with said. They don't play no defense, Portland, and they rebounding is suspect. But I think that's also kind of the coaching as far as when they playing Whiteside and Nurkic together and not together. But me, I'm going to go on a limb, bro. I'm going to say Portland in 7, bro. I like Portland. The only reason I don't want to pick them, though, honestly, man, is Adam Silver and the refs. That's the only reason why I don't have confidence in that the Portland is going to win, because I feel like they ain't going to let the Lakers be gone in the first round that easily. So I feel like they got the refs and everything is going to be on the Lakers side. But if they just let it play out regular, man, I'm going with Portland. I don't think the Lakers got no answer for Dame Dollar. Nurkic's going to eat down low because Anthony Davis, and my thing too, if Nurkic is playing, if he's stretching the floor out and hitting threes, the Lakers is in big trouble, because then that means the lane is going to be wide open because you're going to have to pull AD or Dwight or one of them out to the three-point line, and then they're going to eat – Dame and CJ going to eat all day in the paint. And Melo is going to be one-on-one against a mismatch for the most part a lot of the times. So I like Portland, man, but the Lakers do have a slightly better squad. I wouldn't say slightly. They have a clearly better squad. But Dame is killing. Dame is going crazy right now. And the Lakers, my biggest knock on them right now probably is their perimeter defense. It's super trash. So, and you got the best perimeter player in the world right now on the other side. So I'm going with Portland, man. We'll see how it play out. Y'all got anything else to say?
Yeah, I mean, my thing, I know you said Melo. Melo's probably going to go up against a mismatch, but the Lakers got pretty good size from 3 on down. So you can throw a Kuz, a Markieff Morris, a Jared Dudley. Like, Melo hadn't seen that in the bubble yet consistently.
Jared Dudley on Melo?
I'm just saying from a body standpoint,
Okay.
Melo is able to have his way with most defenders.
Okay.
And the Lakers have bigger bodies to put out there on him. Like, you can put a LeBron on him, to be honest with you. I mean, Melo's playing in 3.
LeBron going to be busy having to take on, one of the other guys.
He doesn't have to guard anybody. He doesn't have to guard anybody in Portland starting 5 other than
So you're
Melo.
going to let Dame and CJ just be guarded by who?
You cannot throw LeBron James on Damian Lillard.
You don't have a choice, man.
Damian Lillard, you can pencil him in against the Lakers, missing Avery Bradley, 40 a game. You can pencil him in for 40 a game.
And what you think?
The
Outcome is going to be no W? You think going to win if you're getting 40 a game?
Like I say, 6 games, man. Portland plays 0 defense. Lane is wide open. Every game that they played has been a nail biter. I mean, you played Brooklyn, who's missing. You can't even name 5 players on Brooklyn, and they scored 130 something points.
I agree. I agree
You
with
about to
that.
play the Lakers with Anthony Davis and LeBron
But
James.
the Lakers been playing equally as trash, bro.
They have, but I think part of it too is that the Lakers knew coming into the bubble that they needed to win 2 games to secure the number 1 spot. And then Frank Vogel started experimenting with all these different rotations, trying to get everything down packed to what he's going to do, going forward in the playoffs. So that's what I'm thinking.
Go ahead and add something, Bo, and then I got to say something.
I was just gonna say, man, I think KCP guarding CJ McCollum is not a bad matchup. As easy as it sounds for Dame to get his, I feel like you shut down his help and you let Dame do whatever he can do. It's like with Harden. You let Harden do his big things, but you don't let a Westbrook come and get 30, or you don't let a Tucker or somebody come out there and get an extra 15, 20 more than they're used to getting, or Austin Rivers. So my thing is, you shut down the players around him, and he's going to get off. Like I said, so he's going to average 40. But as long as you have a defense set up to where you can slow him down at certain times, which I think Vogel will do, I don't really see it being too much of a problem.
Right. I just seen Seth Curry go off on the Lakers. I've seen like every point guard in the bubble so far go off on the Lakers. And my thing is, they had to win 2 games, but who wasn't coming to the bubble thinking we got to develop some chemistry, we got to develop all type of camaraderie, all type of things in order to make a run through the playoffs. So I think it was more than just a 2 game CD. I feel like they was focused on winning the 2 games, but if you wasn't worried about winning the other games, you really came in, you bullshitted, because at the end of the day, you needed those games to build some type of momentum. Yeah, the Blazers had a bunch of nail biters, but at least they got to see what they was made of, and they got to see what they players is made of, as opposed to Lakers, who they just tried a bunch of players and they didn't never get in rhythm. Now you're going into the playoffs with no rhythm and just hoping to be beaten up one of the hottest teams in the world right now.
But my thing is, Portland was fighting for their playoff lives from the jump. Dame Lillard, before this bubble thing even started, he said he wasn't going to play unless they had a chance, right? So they got the chance.
They had injuries all year too, though. Don't forget.
Say it again.
The injuries affected them all year too. Don't forget.
I mean, yeah, Portland is a injury-riddled franchise. I mean, that hasn't changed. So I mean, it is what it is. They have a good roster. I like Terry Stotts as a head coach. I mean, having the big bodies and Whiteside, who I feel should get more minutes, but obviously Nurkic is back, so Whiteside has to take the fade to the back. But
I'll live with it.
All right. I mean, I think Whiteside is more of a factor than Nurkic on both ends of the floor. Like Nurkic does not get the block shots. He doesn't he gets rebounds, but a lot of them are his shots.
Yeah.
Whereas Whiteside is cleaning the glass, getting the defensive rebounds, and pushing the ball up court. And he's a little bit more mobile than Nurkic as far as like on the pick and roll. I mean, you saw that in the game against the Grizzlies where Jamal Murray was pretty much able to have his way when they brought Nurkic up, off the pick and roll with Valanciunas, and he was able to go to the cup right by him, finish at the basket. Easy.
Think about AD and what he's gonna have to go through trying to deal with Nurkic and Whiteside on both ends of the floor, and also being the number 1 contributor for the Lakers. It's gonna be tough, bro. It's gonna be very
AD is gonna have a mismatch. He's gonna have probably Zach Collins on him, who he can have his way with. And JaVale and Dwight, they just need to lock up, keep Nurkic off the offensive glass, because that's where he gets a lot of putbacks and tip ins and stuff. That's what kind of fueled Portland's, run over these past few games. But I think the Lakers, with being able to play pretty much 2 7-footers the whole game, that's something that Portland has not seen yet.
Okay. All right, man. We could talk about the Portland and Lakers series all day.
Yeah, we can go for that. We can go.
Yeah, let's move on. Second series we'll get into is we'll go over to the East. This is pretty self-explanatory. Milwaukee versus Orlando. What we looking like?
Man,
I'm gonna give Orlando 1. I'm gonna go 4-1 Bucks.
Okay.
I'm saying
the Bucks haven't looked as sharp, like say 3-5 since the restart, and I feel like their foot isn't on the gas as it was, like during the season, because during the season they were crushing teams by like the highest margin I want to say in a long time as far as like winning by amount of points. But I think since the restart, they've kind of taken their foot off the gas, and everything is kind of neutral now. You know what I mean? Because you're on a neutral court. You don't have fans screaming, and teams aren't intimidated to play because it's just a gym that everybody else is using. So I think Orlando's good for at least one win, but the Bucks take that one easily, 4-1.
Well, go ahead and get your broom and dustpan out. Them boys getting swept. I already seen it said Gordon is injured a little bit, Ross is injured, and another one of their players is injured. They gonna play,
Rap.
but they already hampered. Then they lost Isaac a couple weeks ago. I think the team is done, man. Get the brooms out. Them boys getting swept.
I agree, family. Only way I would have gave them a game is what Said was saying is if there was some fans and they could have played in Orlando. They in Orlando actually, but ain't no fans. So, but yeah, if they was in Orlando with the fans, I would have gave them one game. But because it ain't no crowd, I feel like Giannis and them about to come just beat the brakes off them boys because they know it's playoff time. They know what time it is. And what does Orlando know? They know they going home, so they gonna play their hearts out for 2 games, and then they gonna just throw in the towel. So, all right. So next series, man. We'll go back to the West. Houston versus OKC. This probably gonna be a real good series.
Ooh.
What y'all looking like? What you got, Bo? Go first.
Man, I got Houston winning in 6 games, but it's gonna be tough, bro. You know, I do feel like Chris Paul had those boys playing better than what they actually are. I don't know if it's the coaching. A lot of people saying he's up for Coach of the Year. In my opinion, I don't think that Donovan is that good of a coach because he had star players before, they didn't do shit with him.
A lot of them.
But I think it's, you know, they got Alexander, dog, Steven Adams, dog, CP3, dog. They got some players that's willing to fight and will try to actually win. So I give them 2 games, and it's going to be, you know, good to see CP3 go up against his old squad or whatever like that. But I just think when it all boils down to it, you know, Houston takes the win. And may I add, I do think that OKC might get the first game because Russell Westbrook ain't playing. So 6 games.
Go ahead, Bo. Said.
I'm going OKC, man. I'm going OKC because, like I say, Westbrook being out is huge. In the Western Conference, you can't afford to give away games.
What's he out for again?
His I believe it's a shoulder or a knee. It's something. He's out. He's not playing the first game. So, and my thing is like, yeah, he's out, right? Then OKC takes that first game, and then all of a sudden, Houston, you're trying to implement a guy that's injured back, right? You're not going to play him in starter minutes, right, when he comes back. So then that's possibly 2 games that you drop. And OKC has continuity. They have size. They play good defense. You got Roberson back, you can put on a James Harden. You got Diallo, like you got Fort, who's been came out of nowhere, playing that nobody talks about. I mean, Steven Adams is going to control the glass. Like, PJ Tucker is not going to be able to keep Steven Adams off the glass. Yeah. Like, this small ball stuff is only going to go so far. And like I said, I just think missing Westbrook those first couple of games is going to hamper the Rockets as far as what they can do. Because, I mean, if Harden have a bad game, it's a wrap. It's a wrap for Houston.
I agree. I agree with most of what you said. I'm still gonna go with the Rockets. I agree with both. Mainly, I'm gonna go with the Rockets in 6. I think the OKC has a real good chance. You know, they definitely got a squad that can mess with them. But I think the Houston Rockets, the small ball lineup is gonna be better than people expect, just because. It just also you gotta it's the small ball. It's a gift and a curse, but because they play so fast, it's gonna tire out your big man, bro. Playing the small ball, and they play that 7 seconds or less offense. So they inbounding after every shot, throwing it up and fast breaking every time. By the time they get up and down the court 10, 15 times, Steven Adams need a break, yo, and a whole bunch of people need a break. So I'm just saying, I can't see OKC beating them. But I do think they're eventually gonna, you know, meet their match as far as the small ball. But you got to guard too. The center got to guard. Covington be playing at the 5 a lot of the times, or Tucker be playing at the 5. And how can you guard that? But if they not making shots, then they also not gonna win any games. Either they making shots and they winning, or they not making shots and they losing. So I'm going with Houston in 6 though, but I'm not confident. I do like the Thunder as far as their confidence, or whatever.
I just like CP3 in the revenge factor. Like, CP3 is probably one of the smartest players in the game, ever. You know, like basketball wise, and he's gonna control the pace of that game. he's gonna get Steven Adams in those pick and rolls. He's gonna draw fouls. He's gonna get that mid. He's gonna slow the game down. He's not gonna let OKC play that up and down pace. I mean, he just came from there, so he knows the ins and outs of the offense. He's gonna slow it down. We're gonna use these big bodies, and we're gonna make Houston play some defense, man.
Don't forget Russell Westbrook played for Billy Donovan's trash offense too.
He does, but Billy Donovan, he's smart enough to know to sit back. Let's let CP3, operate on the table. He's a doctor right now.
I do think having Eric Gordon back plus Austin Rivers, they can pick up some of the slack for Westbrook being out a game or two.
Who's gonna guard these dudes? Them dudes gonna be getting some buckets out there.
Who's gonna guard Shy though, man? That dude's been on the tear this year.
Facts.
They have nobody for him.
Trade Caruso and give me Shy right now, and they'll take Caruso. We'll package him up today.
Try that on PS4 and your system will turn off, dog.
All right, next we're gonna go to the Pacers versus Heat. Who y'all got in that one, y'all?
Damn,
it's a good one.
Go ahead, Sid. I'm gonna let you go. I gotta think about this.
Man, that's probably like one of the most even series out there. It's one that's quite intriguing. Obviously, you got the Jimmy Butler, T.J. Warren dynamic, but I'm gonna go with the Heat, man. I'm gonna go with the Heat. I think they have a really good roster, top to bottom. They've hit on late round picks and even undrafted guys like the Kendrick Nuns, who I think should be all rookie this year. I mean, Tyler Hero has been somebody that's came out of nowhere that people didn't think that he would have the year that he had. Bam Adebayo, another late lottery pick. That's
Robinson.
Right. That should be all NBA, all-star this year. Duncan Robinson, like you say. But, yeah, I'm going to go with the Heat, man. I like the Heat. I think they have a little bit more consistent players. And the Pacers they have a good abundance of talent, but I think the Heat have a little bit more playoff experience, a little bit more depth to pull this out. I think it goes 7. I'm gonna take the Heat in 7, but I think it's gonna be one of the best series that we see out of this first round. To be honest with you,
what's up, bro?
Man, from top to bottom, I think these teams are equal. I really do. The big domino would probably be I just put Jimmy a little bit better than T.J. Warren, and I think that's enough to get them the edge. I do feel like Miami plays with a little more nucleus than they do. Indiana is like this team that just kind of came out of nowhere, whereas Miami's been consistent all year for being dogs. You know what I'm saying? They got a lot of guys on their team that will go get it. Damn, I forgot that they did miss one of the kids just got hurt the other day. Jones. So that could be a slight blow, but that means more minutes for Iggy or more minutes for someone else. I think they'll make up the slack. I have Miami winning that in 7 games, man. It's gonna be tough, but I got Miami winning in 7.
I'm ready to see that one, man.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good series, a hard fought back and forth series. I'm going with Miami too, but I am picking them in 7 because the Pacers with Warren and Oladipo, they just got a solid squad, and I don't like picking against Oladipo like that. Like that dude is he's a killer. You know what I mean? He doesn't get a lot of credit because he be hurt a lot too. But when he's out there, that man be going. And I ain't forgot he took Cleveland with LeBron to 7 games a year or 2 ago, 2 years ago. So I like the Oladipo and Warren, but I think Miami's better built. And like Pat said, they've been consistent the whole year, and Pacers is out of nowhere. So I'm not about to just pick them to just be winning the playoffs like that. But, they might prove me wrong, Pacers. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I think it's a 7-game series for sure. So we'll move on to the next. We got Denver and Utah at the 3 versus 6 in the West. What we looking like?
I'm going to go Denver, man.
Me too.
I think Denver is a team that a lot of people are sleeping on, that have found, a contributor, obviously, a Michael Porter Jr., who's been looking good since the restart. I mean, 6'10", 6'11", handling the ball, pulling up from 3, being able to finish at the rim, rebound, and he's also trying to play defense. I mean, they're going to miss Gary Harris being out these first couple of games, but I think with Jamal Murray back and, the Joker, that 1-2 punch is going to be too much for the Jazz. And, Mike Conley's not there. He's probably going to miss the first 2 games, just had a child. And so I just worry about the playmaking aspect for Utah and where do they get the points from outside of Donovan Mitchell. So I'm gonna go Denver in 6.
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing, man. I just think the team is from top to bottom. I think Denver is just a little more loaded than Utah. Utah got Bogdanovich. Is he still out?
Yeah, he's not. He's out.
The team hurt without him. That's a guy that can actually stretch the floor, can handle the ball a little bit to take care of some of the duties of bringing the ball up the court. That's just a key part to their team. Even though Donovan Mitchell is playing good, Conley is playing good, still got the Eiffel Tower in the middle. I still think that when it all boils down to it, Denver just got a better balance of team, man. Like you said, they got the Joker, they got Michael Porter Jr., they got Murray, and then they got Barton. So I just feel like the team is just a little tougher, bro. In my opinion, I just say Denver in 7.
Yeah, I won't waste time on that. I'm choosing Denver in 5 because Mike Conley being out, they was gonna lose with Mike Conley. So, but with him being out, I definitely think, and as long as Denver doesn't sleep on them and just don't come to play because they know that Mike Conley is not there. But
Right.
I like Denver in 5. They just got too much firepower for Utah, and they found themselves since they've been in the bubble. So, and Utah, they just one-dimensional. If it ain't Donovan Mitchell and Mike Conley, and Rudy does good at cleaning up and stuff like that, but he ain't nobody to just worry about the whole game or a whole series or something like that. So,
Right.
going with Denver easily in 5 and maybe 6. All right, across the board, we got Philly versus Boston. What we looking like, Pat? This is an easy pick.
Man, I think it's over in 5 games, bro. Without Ben Simmons, I just don't see Boston having a hard time beating them. I mean, don't get me wrong, Ben can't stretch the floor, but he is a presence. He still can rebound, still can assist. He can get you 20 points a game. So it's not like you out there not guarding him. But without him on the team, with the injury, Boston just got a better team. They got the better team, the better coach, better record. I say Boston in 5 games. Maybe if Embiid plays his ass off, 6, but no more than 6.
See.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Obviously, Boston too, man. I think they have a better roster, top to bottom. I mean, they have a lot of two-way players, that can score plus defend and knock down threes. And we haven't even really seen Kemba unleashed yet. But I'm gonna say it's gonna go 6 because I think Boston is still pretty young and they haven't really been in that position to close out series. And I think they might, come into the game, we're playing them without Ben Simmons, so this should be easy, and you could end up losing a game or 2, just because the lack of maturity and the lack of playoff experience on the roster. So I'm gonna say Boston's gonna get it done in 6. But yeah, Philly's facing an uphill battle against those boys, man. The team is loaded, man.
I'm going Boston in 5, mainly because Ben Simmons is out. But the fact that Ben Simmons is out, Philly is used to having Ben Simmons running the show all day long. Anytime you lose a player that's been running the show and it has all of the usage rate and has the ball in their hands the whole time, it automatically turns your team into a crippled roster, basically. Unless you got a solid point guard that's going to come through and fill up that role, which most teams don't have, obviously, and Philly don't. So I feel like that just takes away from everything. Now it's just going to be the obvious Joel Embiid, dump it down to Joel every time. And Brett Brown's already not a crazy solid coach like that for him to make these type of adjustments. So they're going to dump it into Joel Embiid every time, and I like them to get beat in 5. They're going to squeeze out 1 game because they got a solid enough roster to squeeze out 1 or 2. But give me Boston in 5, maybe a sweep.
Philly should have kept T.J. McConnell.
Facts. They stupid for that.
Insurance policy.
Yeah.
Facts.
On the ending now.
All right, next we're going to do Clippers in Dallas. Clippers is favorite, obviously, at the 2. Dallas at 7. What we looking like?
Man, I don't even think seedings matter out west. To be honest with you, I think a lot of teams are more evenly matched than people try to throw these numbers up.
Mm-hmm. Great.
But I mean, I'm taking the Clips in this, man. The Clips are a pretty complete team, and for one, the entire year they haven't had their full roster on hand. That's something that Doc has been talking about all year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say the Clippers get this done in 6 games, man. I know I keep saying 6, but I think it's going 6. I think Luka and the Unicorn could at least get you 1 or 2 games because the Clippers defense has been suspect, pretty much all year. I mean, they have the players to lock down teams, but they just don't do it consistently. So I'm gonna go the Clips in 6, man. I think Kawhi and Paul George is just way too much besides, what Dallas has to offer. So
What's up, Bo?
You do the same thing, man. The Clippers are going to win in 6 games, I believe. But I do feel like Dallas got the Unicorn. They got Porzingis. They got Luka. And then, Rick Carlisle, man, he's a good enough coach to get you at least 2 wins. I don't think he's just going to go out there and get his ass handed to him like people think because it's the Clippers. So, put that into rotation. Put them 2 good players into rotation. They still got some solid players like Hardaway, a couple other little guys on the team that can still do some things.
Seth Curry.
Steph, right. I still feel like they can win 2 games. So I'm going to say the Clippers is going to pull it off.
Jr.
Right. I think the Clippers will pull it off, but it's going to be in 6 games. So it won't be a sweep.
Right.
I agree with that. Only thing I want to say Clips in 5. I say Clips in 5 only because I do got respect for Dallas, and I know they're gonna push for 2 games. You know what I mean? But I just think the Clippers are coming to let everybody know that they like y'all said they got their full roster now, so they here to let y'all know like we not playing with the league. And to do that, you gotta beat up on Dallas first off for anybody to be afraid of you. So I feel like that would be the motive and for the Clippers. Or they could come in and be like, we're not going to go hard against Dallas like that because we got a long road ahead, So it depends on how they come out. After the first game, we'll have a real good look at all of these teams to see what they really built like and what they really came to do. Because some of these teams been coming through looking like they'd rather be home with their families. And some teams looking like they want to win a championship. So I'm going to go with the Clippers in 5. And then to the last series we'll move on to is Toronto versus Brooklyn. What we looking like?
I'm gonna go to Raptors show in 5, man.
Okay.
Just because the Raptors have one of the better teams. Obviously, I feel like they have the coach of the year again, and Nick Nurse. To lose what they lost this past offseason in the Finals MVP, plus Danny Green, who was a solid, contributor for them, and to still have the second best record in the East, I think that's pretty impressive. They play good defense. They got, multiple big bodies. They have shooters, a lot of 2-way wings, versatile wings. I just think Karis LeVert is at least good enough to win 1 game. And, all the defenses that Jock Vaughn has been, trying to throw out there, I think the Raptors maybe take their foot off the gas for 1, and Brooklyn sneaks in and get 1 because they're a tough team to game plan for. Like outside of LeVert and possibly Jared Allen, you really don't factor him into the game plan. They have some shooters that people have never heard of. Like you got Joe Harris. Obviously people heard of Joe Harris, but you got other shooters like Joe Harris, the kid. I forgot the young kid. I forget his last name, but
Thibault.
Yeah, he was out there spraying, the other night against Portland. They can get buckets. They've shown that they can score, missing their 2 best players. So I think they can sneak 1 in on the Raptors. It's gonna have to be early on in the series though, but I still think it goes 5 max.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Brooklyn don't have enough to really compete for like a 6 series or a 7-game series. I feel like Brooklyn's good enough to win 1 game. Maybe Chris LeVert goes off for a good 40 or something like that, and they sneak and get a good win. Or Joe Harris gives them a solid 25, and they ease into 1. But when it all boils down to it, I just think that Lowry, what's the big man name? I can't think of his name right now.
The soul.
Nah, the big
Ibaka.
Siakam.
Siakam.
Oh,
Pascal Siakam gonna eat him up, bro. And I just feel like when it boils down to it, I think Brooklyn just don't have enough. So I see 5 games. Toronto in 5.
Yeah, I say Toronto in 6 to be nice to Brooklyn. And we can move on, man. That's going Brooklyn going home. And all them dudes on Brooklyn know they go home. Other than LeVert, he gonna come to hoop, and that's about it. The rest of them is gonna be playing like they're ready to go see their family, in my opinion. All right, so we're in that topic, man. What topic we doing next? The X Factors?
Yeah, we're doing that.
All right, so next topic we're going to do, we're going to talk about who's the X Factor in each series. So we won't spend too much time on it, but we'll just go by, run through the series one more time, and then we'll choose each player from each team that we think is the X Factor. So first off, LA and Portland, who's the X Factor for y'all?
Go ahead, CB.
For me, man, for Portland, it's Gary Trent Jr.
Facts.
Like that dude has been on fire, and I've watched at least 6 of Portland's games. I mean, I want to say he's shooting 50% from 3 since the restart, and the dude, he's shooting wide open, obviously, but he's still knocking them down at a high clip. I think he can get high at any time, and he's somebody that everybody talks about. Oh, you got CJ, Dame, Nurkic, Whiteside. But nobody's talking about Gary Trent Jr., who's been on the absolute tear for Portland, since the restart. He's been playing, defense, picking up the team's best perimeter player and knocking down threes. So I think he's a big X factor in that series. That's I'm going Gary Trent Jr., bro.
You got both.
All right, man. So for Portland, I'm going to go with Melo. I think Melo got to be able to hit the shots that he's been hitting. Also contribute to the rebounds. If they want to have a fighting chance, they're going to have to out-rebound the Lakers, which means Melo's going to have to help rebound. He's going to have to be able to hit shots when LeBron is on him, when Green is on him. He's definitely going to have to hit open shots because Dame ain't going to have everything at the rim like he did against other teams with Dwight and JaVale down there. So he's going to have to be able to kick it out, and Melo got to hit the shots.
All right. Yeah, I took basically the only 2 X factors that's possible on Portland. I kind of had it was hard to pick out of both of them, out of Gary Trent and Melo, because both of them are equally important. I'm gonna go with Melo with the edge, only because Melo he don't get enough credit for what he brought to the team this year. If Melo wasn't on the team, they wouldn't have that third guy who can get his own bucket whenever they need one. And you've been seeing as the Blazers been breaking down, having all these nail biters, they've been looking for a bucket from somebody. Sometimes when Dame can't grab one, or CJ be going off, he's been going off a little bit lately in the fourth quarters. But Melo is that guy where you kick it, you got everybody else well defended, and then you kick it to Melo and realize, oh snap, he got a freaking 6'3" shooting guard on him. You know what I mean? That's barbecue chicken every time for Melo in the mid range. So I think Melo, like said, Gary Trent is going to be shooting wide open all day. And Melo is more of a player that's going to have to take advantage of a matchup. And he's not necessarily going to be wide open that much. They still going to sleep on Melo sometimes. They got to leave somebody to help off with Dame. But if you leave Gary Trent, that's not smart because he's the hottest shooter in the bubble right now. And Melo, you can't leave Melo, bro. My man is too proven. You leave Melo if you want to, and he's going to become a hero in this series. So I'm going with Melo. Did y'all say who y'all chose on the Lakers?
No, we didn't choose the Lakers.
All right, go ahead on the Lakers. Who you got?
Let me get this first.
Go ahead.
I got it. Green, I'm on your neck. Daddy Green, bro. You the X factor, bro. Hit a goddamn jumper, bro. I need 10 points a night from you. Just hit your
easily. He getting 10 shots a night wide open.
The man can't throw a goddamn penny in a damn lake right now, bro. He can't hit shit. So I need him to hit the wide open jumpers, bro. Danny Green, you are my X factor. If you ain't hitting jumpers, you need to be on CJ McCollum's ass, like white on rice, bro.
Them days is over, Pat. Go ahead,
man.
CJ will work his ass out, boy. They better not leave him over there by himself.
I'm going Kyle Kuzma, man. I think Kuzma has been playing well the past 3 games for the Lakers, hitting 20 points in 2 out of the last 3 games. Obviously, game 1 against Denver's reserves, whatever. But I think his confidence right now is at an all-time high, that he's finally healthy. And, Vogel's giving him minutes, actually drawing up plays, a lot of things that I've been saying that he should do, as opposed to just giving him the ball late in the shot clock and then he misses some shots and then people saying, oh, he's not a contributor. But I think you got to give the dude opportunities. And I think in this series against Portland, being that they don't play defense and he's 6'9", he's going to have a lot of mismatches where he can attack. And the Lakers are going to need his offense. And, I mean, like LeBron said the other day, we cannot win a championship without Kyle Kuzma being our 3rd best player. So I think this is his time for him to shine.
Yeah, bro. Go ahead.
It's his time to shine because he is the only young gun that the Lakers kept after the trade. So it's either prove it or it's time to go. So it's go time, man, for Kyle Kuzma.
It's a sad day. We actually looking forward to Kuz being our 3rd best player, bro.
Hey,
That part, bro.
He's the 3rd best player on the Lakers, though, man.
Kyle Kuz is a good
You're
player.
not winning
bro,
the championship.
We banking on
LeBron gotta
Kuz
say
to win a
that, bro.
championship.
He the 3rd best player on the Lakers, man.
No, what LeBron need to be saying is we need to be banking on his ass to win the championship.
Yeah, I agree.
That's another story, though. We'll get to that some other time.
Right.
Bron just
Hey, he's trying to pass the buck off. Trying to pass the pressure off.
Right back to you, bro. Get your ass in the kitchen. You asked
Hey,
for the
Kuz, man, I'm gonna need you to come through, bro. I'm tired of
Come to LA.
Right.
This is what LA brings to the table, bro.
Right.
You win a chip or you die. That's it.
If I'm Kuz, I would have went and looked at my contract and then Googled LeBron contract and be like, damn, bro, you want me to win the championship, bro?
Right. I think he's trying to push him, man, to get his mind right, man.
Nah, he's trying to push that. He's trying to push that pressure from himself to him.
Hey.
So now the fans, he's painting that narrative. LeBron painted that narrative early, man.
LeBron is the fall guy.
If we lose, it's because
Lakers
Kuz.
don't.
He's painting the narrative. If we lose, it's because Kuz didn't step up and be our 3rd best player, man.
Can't blame
He and
nobody.
AD can't do it. Hey, remember 2 years ago in Cleveland, he said we top heavy as what? As you know what?
Right.
Yeah.
Because he was complaining about him and Kyrie not having no help. LeBron's known for this already. He already did.
LeBron's got a ton of help. If the Lakers fall, it's on LeBron James.
Facts. Hey, and the main reason it's on LeBron too, we ain't mentioned, is because you, the one, really got all these dudes traded, and you wanted Kuz. Like, I don't know why Kuz is there, but it had to be LeBron. Like, obviously, Magic, Rob, everybody was talking to LeBron about every move, like they've admitted to. So you got Kuz, LeBron. Don't be trying to. You could tell Kuz personally, hey man, we need you. Da 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 da. But for you to tell the media, Bron painting them narratives, bro. You ain't fooling me, fam.
I'm putting pressure on Kuz. So when Kuz out there fucking it up, stinking it up,
You know why?
Yeah. So
Hey, it's playoff time, man. It's playoff time. Win or go home.
All right, my X factor. I like y'all picks. My X factor is Quinn Cook. Quinn Cook, what you gonna do, bro? It's time, bro. And it's really too much pressure for Quinn right now. I don't like the pressure that the world is putting on Quinn because he got the biggest matchup in the world in front of him right now. And Dame he been busting everybody ass. So imagine when little 5'11", 6 foot Quinn Cook get in front of him, bro. It's barbecue chicken time for Quinn Cook. But my thing is, if Quinn Cook can do something on offense, make Dame work, you know what I'm saying? Get Dame to lose some energy, get Portland to be worried about not leaving him open, and then the series really can go the LA way. That's why I think he's the X factor. I agree with y'all X factors as well. And Kuzma, he definitely is going to have a field day if he wants it. You know what I mean? There's nobody that can guard him. Like, Melo is 35 years old. Like, he's not going to be able to – 36 years old. He's not going to be able to –
Trevor Ariza really hurt the team, too.
Oh, yeah. So,
losing Ariza is big time.
Gary Trent can't guard nobody. So, it's like so Quinn Cook, I'm expecting you to put some pressure on Dame and CJ when they on defense because both of them don't really play no defense like that. Dame or CJ. Defense. So, if Quinn Cook come with it, bro, the series is going to be easily won by the Lakers because Dame is coming in here like, I just got to cook Quinn Cook's bum ass, and then I don't really got to do nothing on defense. Right. And Quinn is the main person that could just end all of that by doing something. Or, and I'll say Quinn along with Caruso and all the Laker point guards because all y'all got y'all work cut out, bro. And can't nobody save you from this Dame Dollar massacre that's about to happen on y'all. And like I said, I just suggested LeBron earlier guard, Dame for some of the time because Quinn Cook, we gonna leave him. Y'all want to go leave Quinn Cook on Dame Lillard for a whole series? If as a Laker fan, I wouldn't do that. I would be like, hell nah.
We don't have an answer for Damian Lillard.
Oh,
No one in the NBA does.
Goodbye.
We put
Bye,
LeBron James on Dame. It's gonna
3
be,
fouls in the first 2
don't-
minutes.
it's gonna be father time versus Dame time. And you know who gonna win.
Facts. Facts.
Don't do that, bro.
All I'm
Yeah.
saying is
Listen to the game.
you got top defenders of all time on your team, and LeBron's the only perimeter defender, bro. And
But you
other than
cannot-
Danny Green and Danny Green barbecue
chicken.
chicken, bro.
You got to put KCP on him, man. KCP
Barbecue chicken.
is young enough to chase Dame around. I'm not saying he's going to be effective, but like I say, this is where the Avery Bradley opting out hurts the Lakers because he's the guy that you would be like, okay, Dame's on a tear. We're going to throw Avery Bradley on him, Mr. 94 feet. He's going to pick him up, take the ball out of his hands, and make it somewhat difficult for him.
But like you
But
said,
we don't-
Trevor Ariza not there too, so
He's not.
that combats that.
Avery Bradley is way more effective than Trevor Ariza is on the defensive end. Trevor Ariza's best days are with the Lakers, man. He hasn't played defense since then.
Who we
In
got?
the playoffs, you bugging on Trevor though. Trevor is the guy you need in the playoffs for a time
When
like
was the
this.
last time he's
Oh,
been
we
in the
get the
playoffs?
Lakes all day. Who we
Been
got?
on the sun, said. But,
Right. Chasing money. He left the Lakers to chase money.
all right,
That's
you right
gonna
though,
make
Pat.
things
Let's
sense.
move on to the next joint.
All right.
Houston versus OKC. Who y'all got as the X factor?
Oh man. Go ahead, see.
Ooh, man. In that series for OKC, man, I want to say I'm going to go Shy, man. I think, a lot of the focus has been on CP3 and Steven Adams, but Shy, Gilgeous-Alexander has had a great year. I think he's gotten overshadowed because he plays in the West, which is pretty much stacked with guards.
Mm-hmm.
But, that dude, a lot of people was thinking that he was just a throw-in, in that trade to OKC. But that guy is he's a stud. He's a stud player. I think he can turn the series because Houston does not have anybody that can guard him, being 6'6", and he can play the point. He's playing the 2 right now. But I think the kid is he's a huge X factor for OKC in the series, especially with Westbrook out, man.
I'm going with Roberson as my X factor.
Roberson.
What's wrong with that, Sid?
He is trash.
He's an X factor. He's an X factor.
Something about him guarding Harden or something earlier.
Yeah. But
I'm just saying, X factor doesn't mean you're the most talented, Sid. It just means you're going to be very important. You know what I mean? So
I'm just saying he doesn't give you anything on offense. Zero.
yeah, but on defense, who does he have to guard, Sid?
He's going to have to guard James Harden.
That's why he's my X factor, Sid. If he do anything against James Harden, they can win against the Rockets. But if James Harden busts his ass,
he hadn't played all year, though. He's just coming back. He hadn't played all year.
I'm sorry you don't agree with him as my X factor. He needs to play a certain number of games in order to be an X factor on your team, bro. But he the X factor, said, because James Harden is about to cook OKC, and that's your team. So you're going to see why he the X factor if he can't slow James Harden down. But I like your pick, you know what I'm saying? But yours is more of an obvious pick, my boy. Go ahead, Pat.
I'm going to ask you, throw Dennis Schroeder out there, man. I don't even think people realize that he's putting up like 18 a game right now. It's actually kind of like unnoticed. Nobody's even paying no attention. So I feel like if he can come in the game and give him that 18 consistently, maybe they do have a fighting chance. I still say Houston in 6 games. It can get interesting, though, depending on who comes and shows up. And if Dennis Schroeder plays a big game and just relieves Chris Paul and Shai Alexander with big minutes and big points, it's possible, man. So he's going to be my X factor for OKC.
Cool, man.
Let me go with Houston real quick. Houston, I'm going with Covington for my X factor because he got a big role and he gets a lot of open shots, and he's going to get a whole bunch of open shots with James Harden out there playing ISO ball all day. So, and he's going to have the 5s guarding him and stuff like that. He literally can change any series if he's just knocking down the threes and playing good defense, because he's strong, so he plays solid defense even in the paint. So So I like Covington as my X factor. You guys say it.
I'm going Daniel House Jr. I mean, this kid went from, end of the role G League player to playing a prominent role on a, contending team. And he's been knocking down 3-pointers. He's been putting the ball on the floor, going to finish. He's been, trying to play D, but he's somebody that nobody talks about, but I think he's going to have a major impact on this series. So Daniel House Jr., that's my X factor in this series for the Rockets.
Man, for me, just looking at this roster, bro, I'm gonna say Eric Gordon. I know he's back off of injury, but they need you to step in and play a major role. His job is to score. His job is to hit open threes when Harden is kicking it out, and he got to live up to that. Which I don't think he got a problem with shooting the long ball and scoring. So my pick would be Eric Gordon, just because. Houston needs you to score as much as you can without Westbrook in the game. So that's my pick.
Good picks. Indiana and Miami. Who's the X factors?
What you want me to go?
Go ahead, Ted.
All right. For Miami, I'm gonna go with Tyler Hero, man. I think that kid is I don't know, it's just something about him, man. I mean, every game I watch him play, big games like against the Bucks or against top contenders in the East, he's always showing up. And I think playoff time, I think he might take it to another level and knock down those threes like he's supposed to and attack the basket. I'm gonna go with him as my X factor for Miami, man.
Who you got for Indiana? Go ahead, Pat.
For Miami, I'm gonna go with Bam. I think if Bam comes and shows out, is capable of switching on defense, rebounding, just going in the paint like he's been doing all season, and he continues to do that in his playoff series, I think Bam could be a major X factor for this team, man. He's a dog on the glass, he's a dog on a defensive game. If he brings it to the table, I don't see no reason why he can't be the X factor of that series.
I agree with that. I'm choosing Bam for the Miami as well, especially defensively too, because he got to slow down TJ and Oladipo when they get into the lane and stuff like that, and he got to help keep them out the lane. So I like Bam in that matchup. I think Bam is definitely going to be able to affect the series in a major way. And on Indiana, I'm going with Miles Turner. He's a big factor as far as keeping Miami out the paint and slowing down their perimeter. They paint offense. So go ahead, say it.
Yeah, I was gonna go Miles Turner as well, man. He can shoot three. He's got to defend. I mean, he's got a tough matchup coming up against Bam. But I feel like Turner, he has the tools to be a solid, player. He's blossomed. He's gotten better each year in the NBA. And I think with his outside shooting and drawing Bam outside the paint, if he can knock those down, that can be, a big turning point in this series.
All right.
For me, I'm going to go with TJ. Keep doing what you've been doing. If TJ Warren can stay hot like he's been hot in this bubble, looking like an all-star of the bubble, if you ask me, bro. I would say TJ Warren, as long as he don't cool off and he keep doing what we've been seeing him do, which the kid's always been a scorer since he came out of NC State to the NBA. So I feel like if TJ Warren can stay hot, he's the X factor of that series, man. Definitely.
Okay. All right, so we'll move on to the next joint is Denver versus Utah. I'll start off with that. Denver, I chose Jamal Murray for Denver. Murray's been absent for a little while, but when he's there, he plays on an all-star level, and Denver's gonna need that. And with Conley out, he's gonna have his way. He's gonna go crazy. So I got him, and y'all can go ahead and we'll go with Utah after that. Utah, I'm gonna just go ahead and say Utah now, bro. Y'all can pick the X factor for Utah because outside of Donovan, Mike Conley, and Rudy Gobert, they done anyway, bro. Go ahead. Who y'all got?
For Denver, I'm going Michael Porter Jr., man. I think he's going to be huge in this series just because you really don't have a lot of tape on the kid. You've only seen him, play just like a few amount of games, being that he was out, with the back injury and finally working his way back. And now he's looking like a solid contributor on both ends of the floor. So I'm going to go, like I say, Michael Porter Jr., man. I think he's going to have a big series, man.
For me, I'm going to go with Jamal Murray. As long as Jamal can shoot the long ball and play the way he played at the beginning of the season, he can be dangerous against Utah. I feel like he's a bucket just as much as a Donovan Mitchell's a bucket. The kid can really light up the scoreboard. If he brings his A game to the bubble, which I hadn't really seen just yet, if he could just get focused or whatever it is he got going on, knock the rust off, he could be major in this series. And I'm going to go with Murray, man.
All right, Boston versus Philly. Who y'all got as far as X Factor?
Did we say for Utah? Who Utah's X Factor is?
I skipped them because they ain't got no chance, but go ahead.
Wow, man, go ahead then. They skipped them shit.
All right, so Boston and Philly, what's up? Go ahead, Bo.
For Boston, I'm gonna go with Jaylen Brown. I know that's sad, boy, but I gotta give him some respect, man. The young man he a muscle out there, bro. The dude play D. 3-ball looks good. He's solid in the mid-range game. And he got a little edge over Tatum because he brings a little more intensity. I think Tatum's better offensively, but I just feel like the hunger to be better or be great just seems like Jaylen Brown shows it on the outside more than Tatum does. And so, with me, I would say Jaylen Brown, he's the X factor for me, man.
I don't disagree with you on that. Just let me add the Figo said. I don't disagree with you on that at all. But I just think there's a personality difference between the two of them. I think Jason Tatum's just more of the quiet, chill, kind of, laid back killer type of dude. And Jalen's more of a dunk on you, scream in your face type of dude. You know what I'm saying? So, but I agree with you, though. Go ahead, Seth.
All right, yeah. My X factor is going to be Marcus Smart, man. I think Marcus Smart does a lot of the, small things that don't show up in the box score. He guards the best, perimeter player. He'll switch down on bigs. He knocks down threes. He makes, timely buckets, in big time, moments in the game. So I think Marcus Smart he's invaluable to the Boston Celtics and what they do on this playoff run, especially with Kemba banged up. I think he's going to provide a lot of stability at that point guard, 2-guard position, being that, Kemba isn't fully up to full speed. And just in case the young guns like, Tatum and Brown struggle out the gate, I think Marcus Smart can pick up some of that slack, man.
Dope.
Smart tough, man. He's tough. He's a pit bull out on without a leash, bro. I mean, Smart get at it, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Physical. Very physical.
Old school. He an old school type of player.
Old school, tough nose type of guy. And his 3-ball ain't as bad as people think it is either.
Can't leave him open. Yeah, he's a dog fan for sure. It's funny because I struggle with both of these dudes as the Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart as my X factors. But I'm gonna give Jaylen Brown the edge. I'm gonna agree with both. Mainly because he just does everything, bro. Like he's your best defender, and he comes with it on offense, and he's a dog as far as he wants to kill you. He doesn't have all of the skills that these other dudes have yet, but most dudes who are that athletic aren't the most skilled dudes in the world. We've seen that through history or whatever. So, but Jaylen Brown is definitely my X factor. And if Ben Simmons was here, he would really be the X factor because he was going to be the one guarding Ben Simmons the whole series. Right. So whether he's there or not, I'm going to say Jaylen Brown's the X factor.
Right.
And so we'll move on to Clippers versus Dallas. Who's the X factor? Who we got?
Go ahead, Bo.
Man, for Dallas, if they want to win, man, it's got to be Luka. Even though I know he's a best player, he got 2 of the damn best defenders in the league on his neck, and that's gonna be all game. Luka cannot have one of those poor shooting games where he's 6-23 from the field and think that they're gonna have a chance. I honestly feel like Seth said the last segment, Porzingis is gonna get his. He's 7'2", 3, whatever, tall as a damn tower. He can shoot it. Ain't nobody gonna be able to stop Porzingis for the Clippers. But Luka is going to have to bring his A game to help out. And I know he's a dog and he can play, but this is the playoffs, and nobody knows the playoffs better than Kawhi Leonard and Paul George.
All right. For the Mavericks, I'm going Tim Hardaway Jr., man.
Okay.
I mean, your father played in the NBA. You've had, stints in other places, and you've been playing meaningless games, and now it's time to put up or shut up. I mean, teams are focused on, like Pat said, Luka and the unicorn. So now it's your turn to step up and be that third guy. I mean, you're facing a formidable opponent in the Clippers, who are heavily favored in this series. So I think it's your time to step up and contribute and, just play a game and do what you've been doing all year, but just take it up a notch, man. Because Luka's going to see Paul George or Kawhi the entire game. So I'm going Tim Hardaway Jr., man.
All right. For me, Dallas, I'm going with the one and only Seth Curry. Motherfucking best point guard in the league. I'm just playing. But Seth Curry, man. I like Seth. Seth don't get enough credit. That dude he's really a little monster, man. He just doesn't get a lot of playing time. He usually has to play behind somebody who's better than him. But man, that dude, he has his second highest field goal percentage of all time after Steve Kerr. And that ain't no accident, bro. That dude just really can shoot, and you cannot leave him open, and he can hit you off the dribble. So I'm going with Seth Curry, man. I feel like he's going to be a matchup problem for anybody, and he's just a dude that you just got to be worried about. Like, he just don't get a lot of credit because Steph is so good that Seth doesn't get no attention. But salute to Seth, man. That man been doing his thing. I got him. Who y'all got as the Clippers X Factor?
Trez. Montrez. And it's the only reason why I'm going to say him, you just got to bring that defensive intensity, that rebounding intensity. He's one of those guys that when he plays with energy, the team plays with energy. In my opinion, he's like one of the guys that makes the bench go. He's the guy that makes the train move. So if Trez don't come and play with some edge and some energy, the Clippers might not have the firepower they need off the bench. Yeah, Lou gonna do his thing, but you still need somebody else like Trez to come in there and help on the rebounds and the block shots because Zoo really ain't gonna give you that type of stuff. So I'm gonna go with Trez.
I think I know who Sid going with. Go ahead, Sid.
I'm going with Zubac, man.
Okay, I'm surprised that way.
Hey, the dude he's been a double machine pretty much each game since the restart. And I mean, the thing is, they're not even calling plays for him. I mean, It hurts my heart as a Laker fan that we gave the dude away, being that he was a young second round pick, up and coming young player. We gave him away for
tacos.
A bag of Cheetos and a PlayStation controller.
Damn G League player.
PS3 controller.
Right, and we gave him to the Clippers. That was the thing that hurt the most. Is like you could have sent them to the Pacers or
send them to Miami.
Clippers didn't have Kawhi lit yet though.
Don't matter. It don't matter. They still had they still made the playoffs last year without them dudes.
I'm just fucking around. I'm just saying though.
Oh, okay. But, Zubac's going to be my X factor. I think he has to play a big game for the Clippers because he's pretty much their only rim protector on the team. And, being 7 feet to keep the unicorn and, Boban off the glass, I think Zubac's going to have a good series, man. I think he will, though, man. The kid's got potential.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go with the guy who I thought Sid was going to pick, and that's Sweet Lou. Lou Will. Lou Will's damn near X Factor every series he in, every damn Clippers game he damn near X Factor because he's just a dude you just can't never leave open, you can't never sleep on, and he can always get you a bucket no matter who on him. He can get you a bucket, yo. So, Luka don't play no defense, man. So Luka, he gonna be doing a lot good on offense, but he's gonna have to run around with Lou Will and a couple of them dudes, Patrick Beverly and a couple of dudes. I mean, Patrick Beverly ain't getting much of an effect, but I'm just saying. Lou Will's probably going to do his thing against the Mavericks, and nobody can stop him. So I'm going with Lou Will. 2 more series, Milwaukee, Orlando, and then Toronto and Brooklyn. Who y'all got for Milwaukee and Orlando?
Go ahead, CD. Oh, you want me to go? I go. For Milwaukee, I'm going with Bledsoe. He ain't been back that long. I seen him. He played the other day, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Bledsoe is going to be the guy. Giannis is going to do his thing. They're gonna get their shots from Brook Lopez. They're gonna get their stuff from Middleton. But I want to see Eric Bledsoe come back and be the form and the dog he was before he got hurt. In my opinion, Bledsoe is he adds another dynamic to that team as far as defense. And, you know, we all know defense wins championships. When Milwaukee want to get to the championship, they got to be on par with their defense. I'm gonna go with Eric Bledsoe. That's my pick, man.
All right. For me, I'm going Dante DiVincenzo, man.
D.
That kid, he's been playing, you know, that pseudo point guard position for them all year and been attacking. I think he's shown up in big games in college for Villanova, and I think this is the year that he kind of proves his worth in the NBA, playing on the championship, you know, worthy team. So I'm going with Dante, man. I like the kid. I think he's improving year after year. I think he'll be I don't think it's going to be much of a series, but I think he could be the X factor, kind of push him over the top and give Giannis and them a break, him and Middleton. So,
Okay.
All right. I'll go ahead and name mine for both teams. For Milwaukee, I got Wesley Matthews. Wesley Matthews got we know what Wesley does, bro. You can't leave him open, and he'll spray you up, and he plays good D. I'm going with Wesley for Milwaukee. And Orlando, I'm going with Markelle Fultz. Markelle Fultz been having a decent year, especially since he didn't do nothing his first 2 years, like literally nothing. But he been doing his thing, and I finally have developed expectations for Markelle. So I expect you to do what you've been doing and give the Bucks some problems over there from Orlando, even though they ain't no problem. But go ahead, Pat.
Man, I got more points than Markelle Fultz right now in the NBA. I'm just saying, bro.
Right.
In my opinion, Orlando, they dud anyway. But if I had to pick an X factor, you know, I'll go with let me go with Vucevic. You know, he gonna have to bang. He gonna have to score. He gonna have to carry the team like he's been doing for the last 3 or 4 years. You know, probably the most underrated big man in the league. Me and Sid been talking about that for a while. Damn good center, man. Just plays for a damn horrible team. So I'm gonna go with Vucevic, man.
Right.
I'm gonna go Terrence Ross, man. I think Terrence Ross, he's got, you know, some playoff experience. Obviously, I don't think they have much of a chance in this series, but I think if anybody can get hot and, you know, win a game or two for the Magic, I'm gonna go with Terrence Ross, man. I like him. I like his game, man.
I mean, they did beat Toronto last year, 1 game.
Right.
Augustine came to play. Ross came to play. Maybe they can scratch out one against Milwaukee.
I don't know, man.
It's gonna be tough.
All right. So lastly, we're gonna do Toronto versus Brooklyn. Who you guys the X factors?
My X factor is gonna be Van Fleet. That dude's been lights out, playing D, starting at the 2, undersized, taking on the best perimeter players, knocking down shots. I mean, going to the cup. I don't think Brooklyn has an answer for him, especially missing their top 2 players. And I'll go ahead and
agree.
my other one for Brooklyn is going to be, I guess, Jared Allen, man. I'm going to go Jared Allen. I think he's got a tall task in front of him to deal with. Ibaka, Siakam, Gasol. I mean, with no clear backup behind him, I think he's got to be lights out just for Brooklyn to steal a game. So that's really all I can pick, man.
We can get mine out the way, Boat, because I chose the same 2 people he chose. So go ahead.
Damn. I guess for Toronto, I'm gonna go with OG. You know, this is gonna be an easy series for him, but I want to see OG still bring that intensity, still play that 3 and D. Just give him a little more playoff experience because he was hurt last year off and on. So OG would be my X factor. Just play his role, hit his shots when they pass it to him. Guard Chris LeVert, even if it's just some of the game, just to get that experience of guarding somebody that's going to be able to eat you up. Because when they get deeper into the playoffs, they're going to have to play somebody who can score, and he just need to be ready. As far as for Brooklyn, I'm gonna go with Jacques Vaughn. Whatever coach can come up with, hell, that might get him a win, bro. You know, I just don't see it happening nowhere else.
All right. So, yeah, man, we'll leave it there, man. We appreciate y'all, man. We're gonna be back on after the playoffs. We're gonna let the first 2 days go by, and so we'll do a show after Tuesday, so we can go ahead and get a full synopsis of everything that happens within the first 2 days of the playoffs. And bro, we about to be lit, man. So yo, hit the subscribe button if you're new, hit that bell if you're new, and we dropping content constantly, fam. So we just need y'all support, man. We streaming on all the platforms, man. We appreciate our listeners all across, from Spotify to Anchor to Apple Podcasts to YouTube, man. So we appreciate y'all, man. And any last words, my dudes?
Man, like I say, keep it up, man. We want y'all to definitely tune in every week, dropping new content, like my man Jimmy say.
Facts.
Hey, man, we want to keep this thing rolling, man. NBA is back.
What you got, Bo?
You got a friend that watch basketball, share the content with him, man. All we saying is pass it on to somebody else who can pass it on. We trying to make this thing grow. So
Right.
Facts. And if it wasn't for COVID-19, you know, we got a lot of things in store, more than just a podcast, just to let y'all know. That's why we call it the iBall Network Podcast. So soon, you know, when everything slows down, we'll start doing a little bit more real life basketball and sports things, as far as like training and coaching and just hooping and stuff like that, doing different challenges and stuff like that. But for now, we got to keep it, you know, keep it safe, keep it quarantined, and do what we're doing for now, man. But we appreciate everybody, man. Salute. We out.
Lion escape. This is a lion escape. Nigga, I am a great. Watch me as I innovate. I got my eyes on the stake. I'm just here for the pies and the cake. Swear to God, I will never stop killing these niggas till I see them lying awake. World coming to an end. That's what the Mayans say. I say my soul has no limit to end, but these demons can die in a day. I've been away. Can't take time to myself, and these niggas just not feel away. I've been living the popular way, but I told myself it ain't shit that I'm not finna say. Haters can flock in the way, but my music gon' drop in the day. So really, you not in the way, but I'm not finna fake. Niggas done took a lot of shit from me, but my pride you not finna take. And my soul is not for debate. What's the goal on top of your faith, bitch? Lion escape. This is a lion escape. 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 Lion escape. This is a lion escape.